Hello, shalom. Okay, so as I promised, I want to do a video on the Vitruvian-Man time machine, Davichi-Code, and I was just doing some additional research on the name because I had already drawn this up some time ago. You know, this is our Vitruvian-Man, our little guy here. Let me see if I can fix this light. It's so terrible lighting in here. And now it's in my eyes. Can we get the light so it's not in my eyes? Okay, I think that works. All right, so here we have our man inside the circle of the earth. The four squares are the four corners of the earth, and he holds in his hands the sun and the moon, just as our, can you see the earth behind me? Our flat earth, circular earth, and the sun and the moon circle the earth. And the sun and the moon are time, right? We have our sun, which moves faster than the moon. So the sun would be our minutes hand, which is then also days, minutes and days, daytime. And then we have our moon, which is, we tell our months by the moon. So the moon would be hours and months. So this man here, he represents Abraham, right? Because it says in scripture that I will make your seed as numerous as the stars in heaven. So he shoots out a seed from where? Well, we know where does seed come from the center of Abraham, and his seed is the constellations, which are the 12 tribes, 12 hours. Well, really there's 24 if we count the day and the night. So there's 12 hours of day, there's 12 hours of the sun, the sons of Adam and the daughters of Eve, 12 hours of night of the moon. So we have 12 and 12. So really there's 24. This is the same as our temple here. Hold on, I got papers everywhere. This is under my chair. This rocking chair I got out of the trash across the street. It was better than the other plastic chair I had. Okay, so the Vitruvian-Man is the same as the Temple of Solomon, really, in a way, where we have our sun on the right hand and our moon in the left, the pillars. And here's, of course, the head, or the North Star, could be the center. I might as well just go through this as well. So the sun represents Ra, the moon is Isis, and El is the electromagnetic vibration of life. And it's in the stars too. It's waves of energy, which the stars are, you know, if you look up solar luminance or star in a jar, frequency of the heavens, you'll see that they make different patterns of frequency, which you can copy with a speaker and water on top of the speaker, and you play different hertz, and it makes different patterns, which then some of them match the stars. It's just a matter of, you know, looking and seeing which is which, and you can see what hertz the stars are playing. And I wonder if you could even listen to the stars. I know that we look at them, but if we had a sound listening device, I'm sure that we could probably even listen to them. Which is why they say, oh, aliens are trying to communicate with us. No, it's just El up in the heavens playing his different sounds, or El, the vibration traveling all around us. Anyway, so here we have Ra. See, it's not Israel. It's not Isis, Ra, and El. It's Ra, El, Isis. Ra is the man, which is also Vishnu, which is the sun, over Boaz, the pillar Boaz. And we remember from scripture that Ruth gleaned Boaz's fields, and Ruth is really the T-Ruth. Remember, Boaz left behind some, he said to his messengers, or to the people gleaning his fields, remember that food represents information. So he said to them, he's like, leave extra information behind for Ruth to gather, for the truth. So really, Ruth, the truth, represents Pisces, the Vesica Pisces, the Messiah, who picks up the T-Ruth, the pieces of the T-Ruth that are scattered around the world from in the different religions and things. Okay, so, and remember, she laid at Boaz's feet. So she's the foundation of the sun pillar. We're going to build the energy of the sun, which is really the energy of El. It's the son of El, which will then fulfill the scriptures where it is written, you will no longer need the light of the sun, for 9 will be their energy. And that's also the name. Like if I'd go through all these papers here, and I don't want to mix anything up, we can go into the name of God and see that it's 9. It's even written like that here in my script, yours. It's your script, yours. Let's go to Revelation 22. And where are we? Where it says we no longer need. Okay, and night shall, verse 5, and night shall be no more, and they shall have no need of a lamp or the light of the sun, because 9, Elohim shall give them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. Can you see this little over here? Where's 9? 9. 9. 9. The center of the 8-pointed star. And it's the same in Isaiah. Isaiah understands that Isaiah 60. Towards the end, somewhere. We went over this a little bit, how we can use our energy to turn bronze. He says, in verse 17, instead of bronze, I bring gold, and instead of iron, I bring silver, and bronze instead of wood, and iron instead of stones. And I shall make your officers peace and your magistrates righteousness. Well, yeah, if he's bringing from stones, he's making iron, and then iron into, we just reverse it. Instead, okay, so instead of stones, we're bringing iron, and instead of wood, bronze, so we reverse it. So really what we're doing is we're creating gold from stones. So we're not creating gold from iron, we're creating it from stones. I'm saying we can create it from water, because where did stones come from? There were no stones. There was water and energy in the very beginning. So it's just a matter of using our magnetic field to compress the water into something that we want, using the right amount of energy and frequency. You know, even a diamond, you know, that's a super dense. So is uranium. So we can actually take our nuclear waste and turn it back into uranium, reverse everything, with our revelations, reverse and reveal, and how to do these things. You know, it might take some experimenting. Let's build the energy first. We need our foundation. And that's what I'm trying to give us. And, you know, a lot of that is with language. And I have a bunch of papers here too. I already had one teaching on this before, and then I made another one, and I just deleted those. I guess I just get upset sometimes, the lack of faith, and people sometimes piss me off. I'm like, just screw it all. No one's paying attention anyway. So then in like 1 second, I destroy all my work and I have to go back and do it all over again. So, you know, anyone listening, it would be wise for you to maybe make a copy of the videos. That way I don't have to keep making them over and over again. But I always have things to add. Even to the first on language, I have a lot more new language now, which I just went over. I just was going over Vitruvian-Man myself with the numbers. And you'll see it's pretty amazing. Anyway, and then he goes on to say, violence shall no longer be heard in your lands, neither wasting or ruin, nor does the moon give light to you for the brightness. But 9 shall be to you an everlasting light, and your Elohim is your comeliness. 9. I already showed you this, but I have to show it in like every. This is 9. 8 around 1. El enter center. 9. It's the center of the cube. It's the Saturn's cube unpacked. It's the Tesseract. It's the Allspark. It's the Flower of Life. It's David's Star. It's the Muslim cube. It's the Hebrews cube that they wear on their head. A cube has 8 corners. It's what's inside the cube. So I showed you the energy in my other video. But there's more to it. There's more to creating this energy. How to cause the magnets to hover inside of the cylinders and everything. And how to turn the cylinders into the electric motors themselves. or just one of them, the rest will follow suit. Or we can make two of them just so we have backup. And to control the speed of the device. Because if we make this device so powerful, it's create a black hole, which is just a huge magnetic field, we want to be able to control that outside of the device. Now nothing escapes a black hole because it has so much magnetic fields, but it's not like we have to let anything escape. We just have to be able to send a signal in to the device to be able to slow it down if we're, before we suck up the whole earth and ourselves back into a black hole. Anyway, we have to know how to control the distance that our magnetic field goes. This is going to take some experimenting, of course, and different materials that we play with. Anyway, so here in the center, if you look closely, this is not only our 6-pointed star, but then it turns into our 8. It's the box unfolded, and then we have all the names, or some of the names of God. And then we have our pyramid, as they would say, or the compass, which is also Jacob's ladder, which I explained in the other video. And then here in the center, what you think is a G is really a Fibonacci sequence, which is really time. It all began at a point, and then as it grows, it's like the tree of life. Many branches could come off. When we start time traveling, like right now, we just have a G. When we start going back in our G, we create a whole nother sequence whenever we change an event, and that starts a whole nother spiral. And then we could go back on that spiral and change something, and then that makes another. So we have all these spirals coming out of our original Fibonacci. Okay, so we have here, as above, it's pointing up, so below, on heaven as on earth. Keep your feet squared, the square compass in the square. Keep your feet squared on the rock, the truth, the T-Ruth. Over here we had, the serpent who tempted Eve, in our Asherah pole, Jacqueline, which is the moon, Isis, Shiva. Which I went over in another video, how it's the 3. It's also the 3 crosses. It's the 3 in 1 with every religion. Okay? Some other names are Metatron's cube or Tetragrammatron, which is, again, 9. The center of 8, which is the center of the Star of David. We're just looking at the star. We're not actually, we haven't been looking at the star 3-dimensionally. We look at everything flat, and we're like, oh, it has 6 points. No, the Star of David has 9 points. You're looking into the point is facing you, and the rear is away from you. So there's 2 more. Did I say 9? I mean 8 points. 8 points, and 9 is the center of the star. Get it? Got it. Good. Is that everything on here? Okay. Here we have our Vitruvian-Man, right? We have our sun and our moon traveling around in the hands of time, hands of Abraham, Brahman, Vishnu, Brahman, Shiva. So I explained the hours. We have programs like Stellarium, which can predict the positions of the sun, the moon, and the stars into the projected future. And we can also then use it for the past. So we can predict what events were taking place during the configurations in the heavens, and then we can set our watches to that configuration. And using our energy then, of course, I believe it's going to have to be after we marry the energy with our cells, and our cells become independent, then we can turn into dust, because each cell is its own living self, and it's numbered, and it knows how to come back together. So we can separate and go apart or come back together. So maybe we could come apart and go into our own device in our watch and like go back in time. I'm not sure. We have a lot of work to do, experimenting to do. I'm still sitting here in my crummy office, I guess my little apartment house. I still don't have communication with anyone directly, so I'm wondering like what's even going on, if anyone's even paying attention. So, and why should I give everyone all the information anyway? From my experience, people just take it and run. So if they do that and they claim that the information comes from them, then people follow them and they'll never receive the truth, from the source, which has been our problem our whole life. Everyone's claiming that, oh, I'm the Messiah. Oh, I have understanding. And they just copy what someone else has done. And then the whole world follows them into oblivion because they don't understand. So maybe I don't want to give too much information. I just want to give enough to get me up to where I have to be so the people are paying attention, because all I want to do is bless them anyway. I want to bless the world and bless the people. When I ask for things, it's not for myself. It's so I can take it and break it and multiply it, just like Messiah did with the 2 fish and the 3 loaves. Not only did that boy, he gave him his 2 fish and 3 loaves. Not only were 5,000 people fed, but there was 12 baskets left over. How much more was that than what he gave? So, hello, is anyone willing to give and set me up to where I have to be? And then I can multiply these things and give you 12 times more than what you gave to begin with? These people trust other men, and these other men haven't offered anything like I'm offering. So why don't they trust me with just the information that I've shown already? Anyway, how do I know these devices work? I believe that it's already somehow created in the future, because I believe that's how we even have prophecy. As if prophecy was just a future recording of a past event, right? Or it's a future recording of history, and some of that is then taken back in time, past the time of its recording, and given to the prophets, who then see it in visions or dreams, and they write it down, and so then they call it a prophecy of the future. Or really, it was just brought back to them. So really, that's how everything's so consistent with true prophecy. Like the sign of Revelations 12. Like, did I follow that sign? Or did the sign follow me? Like, it didn't happen until I did what I did, but I thought I was following it. I feel like it's that from that movie, The Matrix, where the Oracle said to him, oh, don't worry about the plant that you knocked over. He's like, what plant? And he knocks the plant over. Oh, sorry about that. She's like, don't worry about it. But the question that's really going to bug you later is, if I didn't say anything, would you still have knocked the plant over? Like, that's what I feel like. If I didn't read the scriptures and follow the sign, was I still going to follow the sign? And the sign would happen? I don't know. Anyway. All right. So I was going over some numbers, right? Let me show you how I do my gematria anyway. My gematria. Where do we have it here? Here we go. I'm English, so I use the English alphabet. 1 through 9. We only have 9 letters in the alphabet, really. 10 is just a 1 and a 0, so it's 1. Again, it's 1. So really, 1 through 9, if we do this, it's already reduced. Instead of going 1 through 26, 1 represents these letters, 2 these, 3 these. So I know there's like several different ways of doing gematria, and here's my way. And I find different meanings. Like my name, William Henry Rylands, equals 779, and I'm the 4th. So my name is 7794. And if you look that up, it means the head of cattle, which could be, pulling the ox cart cart the Ark of the Covenant back to Israel. Remember, it was the ox cart and the cattle knew where to go. So I'm like knowing where to go. I'm the guide, guiding the cart, the heart of the earth, art. It's an art. It's artwork and design from the Archai text, art. King Arthur. Author. Okay. So using this, we then go over Vitruvian-Man, which is 12 letters. I broke it down 2 different ways. I was trying to see if I just took 1 through 12 and I arranged, when you unscramble, it spells you, navi, time, travi. You navigation, time traveler. So I just took, the position and I tried to see what that would equal. And of course, this might be scrambled too. I have to try different numbers to see because there's more than one I. So that would, change things. So whatever. So let's just do it this way. with this. And then that gives us our numbers. Then when we unscramble it, then we have 3167. If we spell it like this, you Navi time traveling. Maybe it would be Navi time traveler you, but this makes the most sense to me. You are navigation and time travelers. And 3167 equals Zech or Yachzeya. Yachzeya. It almost sounds like I say or I say understand, which is basically the same as saying behold. I say behold, or will behold is what that means in Strong's Concordance. But then if we reverse it, because we're Hebrew, if we reverse 3167, it equals 7613, which equals Seth, which equals time. It equals appointed time. Do you see that? Wow. So that's proving then that this is a time travel device, besides what I've already said. So I just did that, and, you know, always being blown away by the numbers and everything. Okay? Is that all I want to talk about, is time travel in this one? And we'll go to another video for language. There's a lot to go through with the language. I have a whole stack of papers. I like have a headache from having that marker open and smelling that smell from the marker. And it's hot in here. But I'm just complaining. You know, I can do it too. Children of Israel have been doing it the whole time, so I'm just another child of Israel. Ra'el is. So I get to complain. I don't like this food. I don't like understanding. Really, that's what manna was. Moses fed them manna, or man, understand this, man. Every morning, as much as they could eat. Take as much understanding as you can and cook it. You know, or knead the dough. We knead it in our minds. Knead the manna into dough, and then you cook it. I'm tired of thinking I'm baked, you know. I take a break. So we're baked. We baked the dough. And we ate the manna. They eat it. Gives us energy. Understand this, manna. Silly. Anyway. You see how, like, the things in script yours is there's a code. It's a hidden code. Lou has ciphered. I decipher. Unlocking the codes. That's some of our language here. Oh, here, this is right. This is our two pillars. Oh wait, where's our? No, if you fold these pillars down, and you put these together, it actually makes a Star of David. That's pretty cool. I had that illustrated somewhere, but like I have so many papers everywhere. It'd be helpful to just make like a slideshow or have a PowerPoint presentation, but for me to figure out all those programs and then still do this, it's just quicker for me to just make the pictures and hold them up. You know, we only have 7 billion people in the world, and there's people who know how to do all these things, but you know, when you ask for help, they're like, oh, we're busy doing the Lord's work. This is the Lord's work. Do you want to work for the Lord or for the other lords? Well, carry on then. Carry on. I'll keep just doing what I can with what I have. All right. Oh, here's one for the Muslims. Allah. Praise Allah Akbar. Well, here's your name, Allah. It's all which means all understanding. And yeah, there's a box, and the box represents 9. So it's the same God that the Hebrews are worshiping, is the same God that the Christians say that they're worshiping, is the same God that the Hindus are worshiping, is pantheism, which is also Star Wars the Force. And all the religions then are together. So you could say praise Allah, or all would be better once we understand what the names mean. Christ. Christ means anointed one. Yahusha. Well, let's go over some. Is everything out of order here? Zeus. Zzz. Those are waves. Is everything out of order? I thought I had it in order. I must have went through this. So we start with the name of God here, 9. When those who say Yahweh. Well, what I see here is 2 of the same letters. So we'd have to, if this is Ah, then this would also have to be Ah, but it has a little mark, which would be Yah. You, Ah. Father, you, understand. And you know what? Everything is out of order. Yah means I am, or Father, or Master. You means you, or unai, or one. And Ah means to understand. It's important to understand Ah. If Ah means understand, then Ha means behold. So one means listen, and the other one means behold. Or I mean, listen and understand. Ha-ah. Instead of aha, we say ha-ah. And you know what? I think I'm just going to have to do another one on language because I have to go through probably these papers and set them in some kind of order here. Whatever. We'll just go and just whatever comes up. I'm man. Immanuel is I'm man. I'm just a man. And you are L. Look, and when you see this symbol, you see the pictures of Jesus doing this. Jesus, which is, there's no J in the Hebrew language. His name would be more like Yahusha or will, the will of the Father, or will I am. But this is as above, so below, and I'm pointing to myself here, but you know, closed, open, closed, L, and really this makes an L too. L, loser. Anyway, you ever see people do that? They say, L means you're a loser. L means electromagnetic vibration of life. I think we're winning. West Side winning as, what's his name? Oh man, I'm sorry, man. I always said winning from 2.5 Men. Anyway, it was right there. It's right there. I'm right on the edge. Anyway, that's gonna bug me. Anyway, so I'm Emmanuel, or it's I'm manual. The manual is, you know, the information. Or man, you all. Manual, of course, is instruction. I'm the instructions. Build the ark.
Now, let's see who this guy is. Let's dig into the past, and
you know, I'll say like the dude from Tommy Boy, the movie Tommy Boy. You know, the salesman is like, you know, you can stick your head up a bull's ass to see what it looks like inside if you want, or you could just take the butcher's word for it.
Well, we want to really look up this bull's ass, 7794 the ox.
All right. That's where poop comes out, though. Just saying. Let's not go forward. Let's shove our heads up the rear.
Let's look at the history.
Well, just know that the history that you're looking at is history written by people who don't even know me from some perspective of passerbys. Zooming past. Let's write down what we see. But we have no idea who that person is or what they've been through or what they're doing. We're just going to write down that information. Ticket. Well, who's the one speeding? I think it was the people zipping by my life, not even knowing who I am. So that's the information you're looking at, by the way. And how much detail do you get when you're going 200 miles an hour? I think I seen a tree. It was green. Something, blah, 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 blah. That's all we know. Here you go. Well, that doesn't seem any different than anyone else. No shit. Because you were speeding. I'm writing you a ticket, policy men and government. Ticket. Now I'm taking your license to drive. Now I'm driving. Give me your license, government. Yeah, and your weapons. You know, you have to lay down your weapons, and I want your army, and give me everything. You go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Go directly to jail. Now I own the monopoly board. Anyway, and don't worry, you won't be bored. I'll treat you better than you've treated me and the many other people around the world. Actually, you'll be treated better being my prisoner than you will be being your leaders. Yeah, absolutely. You'll have more time off and traveling the world and doing things you enjoy than you will right now. Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. Travel around and blah, 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 blah. Speaking many words, shaking hands with these people that I call stupid cattle anyway, as soon as they're not listening. And I want to grab women by the vagina. Yep. Okay. Well, then why don't you go do that? Like, instead, you're just blah blahing, promising people the world and delivering nothing, and they hate you. So I'm just saying, you can go on vacation now. Go take a vacation. You know, and if you don't have money for a vacation, then stop sending people letters in the mail. You know, because that costs money. Like to go cut down the trees, ship the trees to the factory, to have them to the mill, to have them chopped up into paper, and then take that paper and ship that to another factory to print on it words, and then send those words to the mailing company, and they'll fold it up for you and put it in envelopes and send it to the people's homes. And then the people open it, and they're like, what's this crap? And they throw it in the trash. And then the garbage man comes to pick that up and take that off to the landfill. So what a waste of fuel and people's time and trees, which we need for oxygen to breathe. So there you go. I just saved the world a couple $1 million at least in paper, mail, boring, and I saved room in the landfills. As if we even need a leader who's already been a leader for 4 years to come and tell us who he is. Hey guys, I know I was just your leader for 4 years, but I'm going to campaign again to tell you who I am. Hey, introducing myself, I'm Donald Trump. Hey, we know you. You've been here for 4 years. So if we want more of that, which you brought us, then we'll just vote for you. You know, and then we'll think you're wiser for not campaigning again because all you had to say was, hey guys, you already know who I am. I'm not going to campaign because I'm busy working for you. But I guess he's not because he's busy traveling around. Everyone get your cameras ready. Ready? I'm going to shake some hands and kiss some babies. Take the picture right. Now, take the picture. I'm kissing the baby, shaking the hands. Oh, and cameras behind me, all around me. Oh, praise Jesus. I believe in Jesus. I'll say whatever I want you to hear. And I'm going to fly around on my plane. Fill that plane, the gas tank up on the people's tax money. Or whatever. I'm paying out of my own pocket. Well, where did that come from? Anyway, you know what? A good leader who knew how to finance wouldn't have to raise taxes, of course, but they should be giving people back money. If the people give the king money, the king should be able to take that and multiply it. Really, and in the future, we should not be asking for more, but asking for less. The people should bring offerings to the government for free because they're like, we have so much shit because you've multiplied everything we have. It's so amazing what you've done. Here's just a gift. You don't have to tax us. We're going to give you stuff. Yeah, that's what a leader should be. Well, obviously our system's not working because we have more problems. We have people rioting in the streets. Do you guys want more riots? Well, then let's vote again for the same people. We've been traveling down this road how long? Things have been getting worse and worse. Let's continue picking leaders from the same group of people, the same congregation of Satan. They all eat together. They all play golf together. They all know each other. We have a new president this year who just knows all the leaders. What's that guy's name from over in North Korea? The big guy, Kim. I know Kim. He's a good friend of mine. Well, how did they all know each other already? He just became president. He's setting up the G5. What are they called? G5, G7 little meeting. He's like, oh, I wonder if I'll have that at my place this year or somewhere else. How can you just set all this up yourself already if you just became president? How are you so well connected? Because they all come from the same pocket. It's the same plan that they're following that's already been planned. There's nothing new. Maybe we should try something new. That's what I'm saying. I have some ideas. Listen up. Hear ye, hear ye. Anyway, it's sweating. It's hot in here. Turn my air conditioner on. I'm trying to save energy. Anyway, eventually we'll have so much energy that we'll just charge people just one fee for unlimited energy, you know, just so we have some kind of currency to fund all the projects underneath. You know, for a time we're gonna have to work, but only like 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. On one person should be able to support a whole family. You know, and that's just the people who are able to work, which there's a lot of able people all around the world. Like over in Africa, they're dying to work, literally dying. They're like, we just wish we had some work so we can support our families. Well, I have ideas for projects. I had one for, instead of building a wall, since you're already having your construction equipment out there and you're digging and whatever you're doing to build your wall, putting foundations up, you know, why don't you just build an elevated train across Texas, and then you could transport goods from one side, from the Gulf of Mexico, all the way over to the Pacific. And then you could run another line up north and south, all the way to Canada and down to South America. An elevated train that travels at elevated speeds with energy. And even if we didn't have this new arc energy, you could just build put solar panels all along the whole thing. That's your wall. We have a solar panel and glass wall that we can look through. Yeah, glass is better than beams. You can look through it. Solar panels are better than glass because they produce energy if we had to, but we don't have to. So if we build the arc, I don't know how long it's going to take. Really shouldn't take long once the right people here get the message. And I don't know how long that's going to be because for us to listen, we have to shut our mouths. I can't hear anything as long as I'm talking. Blah, 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 blah. So why are you talking? Because it's my turn. It's my turn. Now I'm talking. Shh, children, listen. Hark. Hark energy. Enterprises. Hark means listen. Energy. Enterprises. We're going to give you prizes. The prizes of eternal energy, which equals eternal life, which is also 8 electrons is 8 protons and 8 neutrons, which is oxygen. Oxygen and eternal energy. What more could we ask for? Well, we could ask for more, and there's a lot more coming with that. Because what we've been doing up till now we haven't been living. So not only are we going to receive life, but we're going to learn what life is. I don't even know what it is. Just living in this hot, polluted, stinky world with garbage food and degenerated beings. Everything's just degenerated. You know, I have to eat 10 times more food than we should have to because all of our minerals have washed out into the ocean, and we've over-farmed the lands. You know, some of the reason that those things were written in scripture were to leave the corners of your field with crops was not only to feed the sojourner, but was also to hold the soil in around the streams. But because, you know, we want every cent out of everything, we cut everything down, then there's just soil, and that washes out all our soil into the rivers, which then that's not good for the fish. They can't breathe or see. We wonder why there's beached whales. Well, they probably can't see anything. And even if they could, they probably can't breathe because the waters are so filthy and polluted because we've eaten the shellfish, which are the ocean's water filter. So now there's sediment in the waters the sunlight doesn't shine through to reach the ocean floor to give the ocean floor energy for the plants to grow. So there's no plants, which equal no oxygen because plants produce oxygen in the waters. So now our fish they're depleted of oxygen. So when we eat them, we're depleted of oxygen in our cells. And then we have what they call coronavirus. It's some mysterious virus. We have no idea, although it came from unclean food markets, not just unclean as in unsanitary, but pigs, snakes, dogs, like that unclean food. against Leviticus 23. Says those kinds of things are unclean. Do not eat them. Why? Why? Because God just doesn't want us to eat certain things because he doesn't want us to taste and enjoy these things? No, it's because they have another purpose. It's not food. It's like eating the oil filter out of our car. Hey, guys, who wants some oil filter tonight for dinner? No, thank you. So it's like putting sugar in the gas tank of your car. Sugar water. It's not good for your car. Only some things are meant to be food. So if we're a car, then our food would be gasoline, which, isn't really the best thing for our environment because gasoline, petroleum engines burn oxygen. So not only are we eating unclean foods, but we're driving around all these pollution machines, which according to my study, it takes 17,000 trees to produce enough oxygen for one average car a year. So that's a lot of trees, people. 17,000 trees. And it takes only 8 trees to produce enough oxygen for one person. So even if we're not talking about, just the environment and the oxygen and how much we're chewing up, we could just say that one car is burning 2,000 lives. We're burning 2,000 human lives a year. So we could say it like that if you want. And we could also add to that how the forests are burning all around the world. Even last year was Amazon, which is considered Earth's lung, and trees that produce oxygen. And if you look at the air quality in the cities, you'll see a lot of places it's in the red. And the cars are just sitting there on the roads, idling, burning oxygen. 2,000 times more oxygen than a man breathes. So you wonder why we have this respiratory disease. Well, not only is our food depleted of oxygen, but also our air. And as the Earth is all levels of density and buoyancy. You have hydrogen, and you have H2O, and then you have oxygen, and then you have dioxide, and then monoxide. So as we're burning our oxygen down here, burning our levels down, and we're replacing that with monoxide, which goes up into the clouds, and then that's expanding, and that's pushing down on our oxygen level. And our oxygen's, on our mountains, the trees are producing oxygen. Our oxygen levels are going down, being pushed down by the carbon dioxide, creates wind. Pushing down. And where does the wind go? Into the cities where we're burning it. So, from the mountains into the valleys. Most cities are in the valleys. So then when you have mountains on both sides, you have your Appalachians and you have your Rockies. And then in the middle, you have your valley. And then it's pushing down. The winds cross into the middle and they spin, makes Tornado Alley. Hello? Doesn't that make sense? So really, we're the ones producing these storms. And not only that, we also have, as I said, if we're eating the shellfish, which are the Earth's water filters, really the waters are supposed to be clear like a magnifying glass. And then it would magnify the sun's light down to the ocean floor, which then would warm it up, would cause, the vibration cause little particles of oxygen to travel up, or it would stir the waters up because the warm water's on the bottom and hot air rises. So also warm waters would rise. So the warm waters on the bottom would rise and stir the waters. Cycle everything, which would cycle the oxygen out of the plants and just give everything life. But instead of warming the bottom now, we're warming the tops because it's cloudy water. So then that causes then the top to evaporate, which really, if it's the other way around, we probably wouldn't even have so much evaporation. The waters would stay just one temperature. So because we're warming the top, then that evaporates and that creates huge storms, right? Which then are being blown around by us. We pull them to us. We're pulling them into our cities because we're using our oxygen. So it's pushing the storm, suck it right into the city. Come here, storm. I wonder why we got hit with that hurricane and why are there so many hurricanes? I don't know. Ask your scientists, guys. They know. We don't even believe in God. Although everything we look at through our microscope is God. Everything that has life. Everything's so intelligent, but don't talk to us about God or the Torah or instruction. We have our own instructions, which are 10 times harder to keep and confusing than God's very simple instructions of do not eat this food. And it's so difficult for us to leave a little bit of crops around our field or a couple trees for the cows to lay under. Let's just cut down all the trees because the cows love to lay in the sun, just like we would love to lay in the sun without shade and without fresh water. And we'll just grow them corn, just corn. Let's feed our animals just corn. How about you just eat rice? How about that? Environmental or farmers, you just eat corn, just corn. No herbs, no lemongrass, nothing. Corn. See how you like it. And not just corn, GMO corn. Let's change your DNA around. Yeah. Why don't we just poke people with needles, suck out all their blood, and rearrange their blood and put it back into them? Let's see how retarded we can really be. I wonder why we're confused. Because we're eating confused foods. Anyway. Well, I want to teach you about language. Well, we're learning a little bit of everything today. Don't you want to know what the problem is so we can fix the problem? No, we block these kinds of things. Yeah, when I make a post showing that carbon monoxide is 666 and that coronavirus is, lack of oxygen, and I post the evidence, then they block it. I'm blocked. So this will probably be blocked too, okay? So I'm wasting my time again, trying to show you the truth. So I'm saying we could fix all these problems very, very quickly. If our problem is eating unclean foods, we could just stop. It's not hard to eat good foods like, that are on the clean food list. And if we let the animals reproduce themselves, they'll reproduce much quicker than the way that people do it by artificially inseminating them, because they're not happy animals. They're not that's not good vibes. Rape. We're going to have children of rape. Yeah, I don't think the mother's going to really want that thing growing inside of it. And if everything is vibration and frequency, there's a lot going on that we don't see, because there's a lot in the air and a lot of signals that our body is sending that we don't see the product of this. So we're not completely understanding, but the way that we're doing things is harming our own products, which then we eat and they harm us. And we also created our own slavery in a way where when we lock up all the animals, which by the way, the Indians didn't have to do this. The Indians didn't have to grow them food over the winter. They found their own food. So when we lock them in cages, then we have to feed them. So then we have to grow all these crops, and then we have to, plant the crops, water the crops, harvest the crops, gather the crops, store the crops, and feed the crops to the animals over the winter in the barns that we built. So we have to build barns. We have to build silos. We have to build machines for the animals. So we have milk. Well, no, we could still have milk. We could just let the animals go and they can find their own food as they did before. And if you want to help, we can grow them herbs and grasses and things that grow over the winter, like kale, and some of the herbs continue to grow. I think my parsley survived. Lavender survives through the winter, and trees. They find little shrubs and stuff in the woods. Let them roam in the woods. Roam. Let the animals go. Look, and it's not just that we have to feed them, then we have to clean up after them. I see the farmers then grab your shovel and your wagon and let's go shovel some shit today. We have to clean out the barn every so often, maybe every once a week. And then where do they take the shit? They take it out and spread it on the field. Well, why not just let the animals go and eat in the field and shit where they stand? And you don't have to do anything. Well, we have all this free time now. What are we going to do? I don't know. You can still gather food. You can hunt the animals, the clean animals. Maybe, work with them, create them a beautiful little playground, grow them crops. You can still gather the milk. Don't you think that the animals will come to you if they need to be milked? We could build shelters, of course, for mommy and child. When an animal gives birth, but then you have that extra milk. You give the baby two teats, and 2 teats for you. Split it. And don't rip the child away. See, they take the children and they rip them away from the mom because they want the milk. And then what do they feed the baby? I don't know. Do they give it formula? That's not natural. So then later on, the animal's not a natural animal. When it grows up, it's grown from unnaturalness, which then we eat or drink. So we drink our own pollution again because we're so wise. The formula that we had to make in our labs, you know what we did? We took the extra money that we made from the extra milk and we went and we paid someone to make formula for the cows that we took away from the mom. Does that make any sense? No. No, thank you. You wouldn't have to buy formula. All right. Do I have to spell it out any more than that? Really? Okay. So now we understand that we should just let nature be nature. You know, the birds will plant crops and flowers and things. You know, all we have to do is just feed them seeds and they'll go do it for us. But if we want to help, we can do it too. Don't you want to be creators? So we have all these airplanes that were, you know, cloud seeding. Poisons. Hey guys, I know, let's block out the sun with chemicals that we can't eat that are going to rain down on our crops. Let's do that. And then when it rains down, it'll get into our plants, which then will grow into our fruits, which then we'll eat. Like, we don't consider that the plants grow from the rain that comes out of the sky, and the rain rains through the whatever's in the air and it all gathers together. Well, if you guys want to seed something, why don't we spread real seeds for plants and cloud seed with seeds? That way, when it rains, things grow. What do you want to plant? Plant it in the sky. Well, with their energy, we could also think we could pull up waters into the heavens and cause them to rain down on earth, or we could pull up waters from underneath and just cause the ground to be moist. You know, I explained this in another video, but I probably deleted it, how the plants and energy work, right? First of all, pure water doesn't conduct electricity. So that's why we need minerals in the water. That's why you need minerals in the soil. So then when it rains, the rain is electric. It can conduct energy, which then it gathers its energy from the sun, which is why plants grow more in the warmth in the sun when it vibrates their little particles and gives them energy. And the vibration then pushes them apart. So think how we can copy this if we have mineral water, hydroponics, and we can plant our seeds and then electrify the water, you know, and as the plants push out, it creates little voids inside of the plant, which sucks the water in, keeps sucking. So, you know, as we shock this thing or pulse it, we can cause it to grow. Just energy and mineral water. I believe that'll work. Something to try. So imagine how we can grow up a desert in very short time with these concepts. I mean, there's several ways to do it. Like I said, we could bring in aqueducts and bring in ocean water that way, or we can, you know, drill out huge holes into the earth. We can use our oil companies to go down, down, down to find some water. And then we could beam energy down to heat it into steam, to cause it to go into the heavens. Steam is clouds. And then direct our little clouds where we want and make it rain back down. We can do it that way. Or we can see how we can manipulate the waters with our energy. We just lift up waters and carry them over and drop them in the lands. Some things will take longer to discover and to perfect than other systems. So let's start with what we know now. We know how to drill holes and build tunnels and aqueducts. We know how to do that. And we have lasers now where we can just cut things out. And we can make hoverboards to carry things very easily. I have designs for those. Didn't I show you that in some of the other ones, other videos? I think I should probably just make a whole separate thing on that. We were trying to get into language, but really, we just have so much to do. That's why I'm saying, like, with all the people in the world, I just ask for like a small team to help me help you. It's just to help you with information. and I ask them for maybe just take care of my needs. Like, can you just cook me food during the day? And so that way I can just share with you the information and you can help me document it. Like, ask for some help for you, not for me. So I ask for money from the earth, money to build the things for you. And yeah, of course, I'm going to be flying around in my ship too. We all are. So it's for you and for me. But I could use some help. I don't know why the fingers are so close together.
Yeah, we're not getting my toys. My toys.
Your toys suck. I want to upgrade them, but you have to let go of your little toys.
No, I'm a mean little child. I've grown old into an old man, but really we're just children. Grown up, mean little children. Mine.
That's what the children do.
Like mine.
You have enough toys. Share with someone who doesn't have any. Yeah, let me help you. Let me show you how to play. You don't even know what this thing does.
My toys. I know what it does.
I feel like I'm talking to my friend, this woman. This woman I know. Doesn't matter how many facts I prove. Fact denies the facts just because it comes from me. Who do you want it to come from then?
We're waiting for the Messiah.
Okay. So here we have just one example of a way to cause something to hover. We have here a speaker. Speakers vibrate, and we amplify that sound. We can cause it to go up, but we can also add to that by making cones. Cones have points, and we're just copying nature, because if you look at a dragonfly or a fly or many of these bugs, you'll see they have little cones. Sometimes look like hairs, right? If we have cones and this is vibrating, it's going to push away from its tip. You could experiment in water first, because water is really just heavier air, so things will react quicker and more density, right? So practice in water, make our little cones vibrate, and see how that causes our ship to go up in the waters, right? And we'll have the energy to do that. So if we could do it in the water, we could do it in the air. Anything you could do in the water, you do in the air. You just increase the vibration, because really, like I just said, water's density, the atoms are closer together. The magnetism is not vibrating as much in the water, but then as we go into the air, the particles in the air are vibrating more, so they're spread apart. So we need more vibration to pass through. And we can do that with our energy. But even additionally with that, if you've ever had a stereo system, like I used to build a box and put my 12s in it and amplify the sounds with my big speakers, and those systems can cause windows to blow out of the vehicles if you build them strong enough. And you can see that they do some of these things with sound competitions. You'll see the whole door bending off the frame, so whoosh. And the one had a video of, there was a woman sitting inside of the car, and he turned it up, and her hair would just start floating. So I mean, there's a lot of energy there that just we can direct it, right? So if you port a ported box, of course, is with the holes in it, and then you could feel the air blowing out. So then if we take that air and we direct it through vacuum hoses, you could take that air wherever you want and blow with one-way valves. So you have one way in and one way out. So one side is blowing out. So really we're building a vacuum cleaner, but not one that spins. We're building one that pulses, like a heart. Really, that's what that whole idea was. Do I have the heart in here? I can hardly wait to show you all the things that I have. could use some help with, a guy with a computer and knows how to do his CGI and computer aided drafting and stuff. You have all these artists to just take these things and make them come to life. Help me illustrate. Hello? Is there anyone out there? Earth? Houston, Earth. Houston, we have a problem. Here's, okay. So here we have one idea for our, this right here represents a box. These are their speakers, and these can pulse. So this can become a heart, really. We just play the right tune. It's our rhythm, our heart rhythm. And have a one-way valve in and one out, or in and out. So we're sucking air in one, blowing out the other. Now we could turn that up. So then we're just blowing air out the back and sucking in the front and pull us as fast as sound. We travel the speed of sound. But sound is also light, speed of light waves. That's a whole other concept. I have other concepts for that. For light travel, they have different propulsions. This is just one. Where's my electromagnetic tools? I'm gonna have papers everywhere to sort out. We get into. He's manic because they call me manic. Yes, thank God. Thank God someone's not narrow-minded. Give him his meds before he solves all the problems. Arrest him. He's crazy. Bipolar. Oh, do you mean I have a north and a south pole? Or maybe a left and a right hemisphere? Thank you very much. And in the center is Brahman, Abraham, discernment. Yes, okay. I'm not bipolar, I'm tripolar. I'm north and south and center, bitch. Did you just say bitch? No, I said itch, witch, niche. Yeah, I can say all these things, or I can scramble the letters, and that's okay, but do not say biatch, bitch. Language is so funny how people call these words curse words. Female dog, bundle of sticks. Fornicate, under the consent of the king. F-U-C-K. Fuck. Anyway, excuse me. Excuse my language. Didn't mean to hurt any virgin ears. Virgin ears. What the heck was I just going to show you now? Electromagnetic tools. Oh, yeah, something to go with our little heart. And this is also new. In addition, it only takes thought. I'm like, how will I literally make the speakers go whoop, whoop? I know that energy can pull them in, but if I have speakers all around, then I'm going to have just a North Pole attraction for the whole way around. Well, I'm going to have something round inside of my device. So I was thinking, why don't I just make that an electromagnet? Electromagnet, like I showed us some electromagnets in another video. Oh boy, everything's out of order. Well, we understand how this works, right? Our coil. And we should give this energy and, cause to pull on one side or push. Well, we can also think if this was hollow. If this is manipulating the energy inside of the particles inside of the iron rod, and everything is made of atoms, including water and air, then even if this was hollow and you had air flowing, it would cause the air to flow through it or the water to flow through it. So really, this is a pump. This is a pump. This. Some papers just fell down. I need a secretary to help me organize this stuff. It's getting worse and worse around here. It's going to be more difficult the longer we wait. It's kind of like the earth. The longer we wait before we begin to build these things and heal the earth, the more problems we're going to have to clean up. Don't do anything. Just sit there. Sit in the truck. I'll get it. That's what we used to say at work. Used to do masonry work. And my boss, nameless, sometimes, sit in the truck, drink beer, which, it's understandable because we work hard. We're sweating our asses off all day. And, I don't know, it's just makes the head feel good. So, sometimes when we would see something like a tool was left out or we need something more to do before we leave to go home, and we're just talking, and then we're just like, I'm like, sit in the truck, man. Just stay in the truck, dude. I got this. I'll be like out there cleaning up or whatever I had to do. Or we just sit and drink, sit in the truck. So that's what I'm saying to the world. But I'm being sarcastic. Like, hello, I can use some help here. No, don't help. Just sit in the truck. Anyway. So here I have our electromagnet with a hole in it, which will then pull our water or air. Which then we can use with our shit. Not only that, but you think if we're causing motion to go this way, it's going to cause our device to go this way. So that's another method of propulsion. Flow causes the device to go the opposite way. We could, start talking about light speeds and stuff with that too, but we just want to talk about our heart. So imagine then if we have the pipe in the center of here, pulling water in, or whatever liquid pulling in one way, in the center of here is one, and then this is also another pump. So you have two pumps in one. So we're pulling from the inside and from the outside. So this can literally be a heart, a double chamber heart, playing the rhythm of your electromagnet. Whoa, man, that blood is flowing fast. Oh, gotta run. Slow it down. Turn the dial down. Anyway, this could be our internal, pace. Instead of having pacemakers, instead of cutting people open and stealing their hearts, I know now that the elites, I know if I had billions of dollars and I needed heart surgery to live, I would probably be, and if there was no hearts available, well, we'll find a heart, well, we don't have to do that. Okay. We have to kill people and cut them open and steal their organs. We can make our own hearts that are better than people's hearts and put them inside of us. And by the way, which book do I have that in? I had my own little idea for knee surgery, but I just wanted to show you a thing on here for how to connect veins. Much simpler than sewing things together. We already have glue, and we could do it much the same way that you connect hoses to cars with hose clamps, right? And then we can extend veins, make them longer or shorter. Well, who would want to make them shorter? Then they don't fit together. But let me just show you. And the reason I drew up this whole knee idea was because of the pharmaceutical company that poisoned me and harmed my knees. So I was thinking of just taking a cup and put it over the knee, and then could put pressure inside of here, whether with air, it's like a tire tube, air or gel or whatever inside to cause that, and then we can consider then also using some energy to vibrate things apart. We could just build whole new bodies, really. But anyway, this was an idea from a while ago. And so then I was like, well, there's going to be veins and stuff running through the knee, so we can't have them stuck inside of the compression there. We'll have to take them and put them outside. So the idea was then to put little cup links on the outside and snap our veins into there, or make it like this where they snap over top and you have little hose clamps that clamp on. Like, wouldn't that be simple? For also then we could use that idea for making our heart, your main arteries, then you just hose clamp them on, and you could also add your glue. We have glue, put glue on the inside and clamps on the outside. And if you want, you can even put your metal braiding like they do on the cars to protect stuff from rubbing. So then we have, extra strong. And then, our veins are extra strong. Then, and our hearts, we can control the pace. We shouldn't have a problem with blood pressure. And really a lot of that comes from, I believe, as we continue to eat dead foods, that the vibration then slows down, and the little magnetic blood cells, they're no longer pushing apart. They start to lower and they come together until they stick together, and then they clot. And then, that equals a stroke. That equals heart problems where we have clogs. It's just clumped up cells because it's not flowing. Our energy is not high enough. We slow down because of all the dead crap foods that we've been eating. And we already know that these things are associated with diet. What do the doctors do? They usually give people, you should eat more fruits and vegetables and lay off the sugar. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily the sugar so much. The sugar is just 8 times more addicting than cocaine, and they do say that it weakens your immune system. Does it weaken it because the things that are mixed in with the sugar are also just dead processed foods? So maybe it's not the sugar just makes us addicted, and then we're eating dead processed foods. Why don't we put some cocaine on some tomatoes? You want to be addicted to something? Well, these tomatoes are good and they really give me a lot of energy. Why don't we just, when I was thinking about growing different foods and to make them resistant to pests, you have natural things like the coffee plant, which I heard that that's naturally resistant to bugs. So why don't we just throw coffee grounds in our soil, and then it'll grow into our plants and make them naturally resistant? Possibly. It would make sense to me. And, maybe add a little bit of that thing that we love, that zip or whatever, so we can just eat an apple or eat a tomato or eat something rather than our cup of coffee. Which, by the way, I heard that coffee dehydrates. Whatever, so we just need to drink more water. So if our fruits already have water in it, that'll balance that out. Anyway, that's just an idea for the plants to make them naturally resistant to pests. And then I was thinking, well, if that works, then why don't we just add other things to the soil like lemon peels or orange peels, because that is a preservative. Lemon preserves. So then maybe our foods will be naturally preserved, our fruits and veggies. And then if that's in our soils, that concept, we can use that with everything. Salt as well. Salt. We need to add more ormus or monoatomic gold or salt from the Dead Sea back to our soils, which is really, again, minerals. Anyway, I'm going to forget what I was talking about. Shit. So we were talking about our heart. We were talking about why our blood vessels, our blood cells clump together, blood flow because of the foods, because they're not vibrant. And we're talking about our new heart, that we can control the flow. Well, even so, even if we can control the energy that we're pumping through us, if things begin to clump up and clog, we don't want to just increase the pressure. That's going to blow out. So, yeah, of course we're going to have to that's why I want to play with the energy again and see if we can marry that with our cells. Now, that's a lot of cells to add it to. But if we can build a filter then that can clean our cells magnetically, because if everything is magnetic, we should be able to pull out the crap the same way. But really, we just need to add more water then to our system and minerals. I'll have to think more about that. Anyway, so that was my little idea for blood vessels, right? Took to our hearts, clamps. That makes sense. So there, we just built a heart. We'll work with that. Back to our causing things to hover. So we have our speaker and so here's our speaker box. I think you understand the concept, where it's ported and it blows out air one side and sucks in the other. So in this example, would cause our box to go up, blowing out the bottom. So we're doing both. As we suck, we blow. And then I've already showed this in other videos. I don't know if you have copies of them. But we ported our box then, we connect vacuum hoses, which then we could direct them any way, and we could use electronic valves. So if we have these going in different directions, then some valves are shut and some are open depending on which way we want to go. So this is really like thrust vectoring, thrust out the back, blowing air whichever way we want to go, and intake vectoring, suck vectoring. So we could suck forward and blow out the back this way, or we can just cause it to hover at one level by sucking in the sides and blowing out the center. However you want to control it, or you could just do it by speed, of course. You know, I'm just saying. All I'm saying is we have options. And then should I get into ship designs? I've been on here an hour, 15 minutes. I'm just throwing all kinds of information. I'm not sure where you've been, how much of my work you've seen. So I'm not sure what I have to show. But I have everything here. I have weapons. Electromagnetic weapons. Building materials, ships, all kinds of things. Just artwork too. And we didn't even get to our language and have all this to go through. So maybe that'll just have to be a different video along with ships. Because this was just a video on, what was it? Time travel. And we didn't even fully explain that. But we have enough to get started with. Did I explain to you in my other video about the energy, how our energy is, if this is our cells, and then we can marry energy to our cells using oil. Oil's lipid soluble, passes through the cell membrane because the cell membrane is also oil. So we put our little nano device, energy device inside of our cells. To do that, we mix it with oil and bloop, it'll go right in. And then if we have an external controller, then we can play with our different vibrations. So I have my little phone, which is programmed Bluetooth to my energy inside of my cell. And I could turn the vibration up or down. And now my cell no longer has to eat for energy or information. If I could send information, if information is also just a vibration, so I could wirelessly send information to my cell, which then goes into my brain and it gives my brain information. I could talk to myself that way, or I can just maybe directly send vibrations right to my brain wirelessly too. We have so many things to play with. Anyway, so if the energy goes in my cell and causes it to be magnetic, which will cause either our cells to come together, clot, or maybe some cells are for skin. We have to look at the different cells and see how they're vibrating, and then we can copy that. So we can make our bodies come together. Each cell has its own number, and each vibrates at its own frequency and comes together according to its position into a body. Or if we reverse the energy, and it pushes apart. So then that's what I meant by we can turn into dust. From dust you came, from dust you can to dust you return. In the same way, then we can upgrade our blood to pump through our hearts. Because if we increase our vibration, then our cells will push apart. But of course, we also need, I believe, water. We need more water. When I think of people with high blood pressure, I think of pasty blood, because we're not hydrated. Hydration. Our bodies are what, 75% water? Hydration is the most important thing. If water, mineral water, is conduit, it's the same thing as blood. Blood is just conduit. The cells are the minerals. It's just a more intelligent water than like the water that's in a puddle outside. There's more information being stored in our cells because our cells are like chips, little microchips. So it's pretty amazing, really, when you think about how we were created down to the cell. Anyway, so that's that. And I guess I'll just make another video for the language and ships, okay? All right, I think that's enough for now. I'm getting tired again. Take another nap. And I have to go back through and organize. I just made a huge mess. I guess the mess I am. The mess I am and the mess I are. I understand the mess, but I'm also making a mess. Secretary! Hey, secretary! Where is she? I have to go find her. I'll be back later.